rotation bans for top esports.
Interesting. Okay. So, yeah, intriguing. So I do like to see the LGD kind of wanted to go for counter pick here. Again, playing into what you talked about, the solo lanes. So let's just see if they can take advantage of it. The Vi band going to be the final one here. A new band introduced here from LGD. But we still left up things like the Jarvan still available. We talked about that jungle priority. Tien is comfortable getting towards those bruisers, but feels like maybe he could get them a bit later in this draft. Interesting to see how we feel about the Annie beat one here, Kman.
I think this is very common for top esports. It's something they really like to go towards in games 2, games 3 in the regular season. It is tied for Creme's most played champion this split. What this sets up for Naafiri, Lee Sin, I think are potential options. Remember, the Lee Sin was banned in game 1 against Tien. It is up on the board here in game 2. We wanted to see Burdol on something that could be a bit more ubiquitous. That's what the Sion is. It might not be as flashy, but that's a champion that's going to be fine enough in the early game. You don't have to put a ton of attention into him, and he can make an impact in team fights. Sion is a much, much more safe pick than the Mbessa was in the previous game. Bot lane 2v2 priority is paramount for LGD here. Caitlyn would make a lot of sense, but it has to be something that gets a push onto the bottom side.
We saw Caitlyn Lux pop up in our first series. That's a bottom lane we haven't necessarily seen a ton as of late. Caitlyn Elise also something that really floats around there. So we'll see if that's something the YCX wants to go towards, like you talked about, to have that consistent push. What does top esports, though, look for an answer in the bottom lane with? There's a lot of options still up and available, and, well, I hate to be the guy that falls for hovers for a second here, but the Ezreal, I will say, was banned by LGD in the first game here, so they let that one through, and, well, Kman, I mean good. Good to see JiaQi Love Inform playing some Ezreal, and, oh boy, the Nico makes it a pretty powerful 2v2 coming out from top esports already.
Really love this. Look at the amount of fight potential, skirmish potential that you already have on this team. Not only does Ezreal spike incredibly hard around a lot of these mid-game skirmishes, but you have the Pop Blossom and you have the Anti-Flash engage. You are really setting up for Tien to be on something that can dominate this game. They have plenty of options still available going into the second rotation, whether that be a Naafiri, whether that be a Lee Sin, as we talked about. YCX has one game of at least this split. It did not go particularly well, but it is a comfortable bot lane, at least for him as a player. This is something that they're really going to need to exploit. Ezreal is essentially going to be left on an island in this bot lane 2v2 with Nico roaming. That Caitlyn at least has to generate a big advantage, and once again, LGD have a lot of pressure once they hit level 6.
Do start to get a bit worried as we move into the second ban phase about what this necessarily leaves for a guy like Heng. When it comes to what I expect to be a pretty heavy jungle dose of bans here. We already see the Lee Sin ban coming across here, but a player of Tien's veteran status, you know that even if he gets 2 banned here, he still feels comfortable in a lot of champion picks. And also the fact that we still have J4 floating around for now. Xin Zhao is still going to be out there as well. Pantheon even as well. All these champions Tien really piloted well towards an all-pro ballot position of his own. So we'll see if he can get his hands on one of those that really will help accentuate that skirmish-heavy dosage we're getting from top esports like you talked about, Kman.
Also very possible in this one with the Sion on the top side to potentially see one of those skirmishers, something like a Jarvan or a Pantheon that still have a lot of priority to play alongside the Annie, and then maybe like a Vayne or something like that on the top side as well for someone like Zhuan. It is definitely possible that they can still play for something more aggressive there, but LGD certainly see the same angle and vision that I do because they're taking away Lee Sin, they're taking away Olaf. They see so much setup already. They don't want anyone in the jungle that can capitalize on it. Notably, Naafiri is left available. Honestly, that very much looks like an angle for Tien here.
Yeah, we've already saw Naafiri pop up in that last series as well for Mr. Junja, another all-pro jungler as well. So we'll see if that Naafiri shout is one that comes to fruition. Tangyuan looks to be the target of the top esports bans here, but oh no, it's going to be the J4 ban to come out late here for top esports. Interesting to see that come along. There is a lot of mobility, a lot of spread flexibility already with the Nico, Ezreal, and the Annie, but maybe they're just setting up because they actually want to go for the Naafiri. Lot of setup pressure on the Sion. Oh.
This is, honestly, I wanted to call out the Wukong before, but Tien hadn't played it throughout this split, so I was like, maybe not, but this is a perfect comp for Wukong. You get to combo off of the Pop Blossom and the Annie engages. Annie Wukong, the most dangerous engage mid-jungle duo in the game. I'm guaranteeing an aggressive topside here. Something to punish this Sion, something that can carry. Zehen makes a ton of sense. We called this out in the pre-show, that Zhuan Zehen has been a massive pick. Burdol Zehen has also been a massive pick. I love this draft for TES.
Oh!
The Vayne lock-in. Tangyuan's Vayne.
Just like in the play-ins.
Oh, yes, sir. And no Malphite this time around. Hey, Tangyuan had to struggle into a Malphite in the mid lane last time when he was playing Vayne, and it was a little bit of a different experience. Now, you get that Vayne with full priority into something like Annie. My biggest concern, Pop Blossom, Wukong engage, Annie engage, and Vayne's range is minuscule. This double AD carry comp can very much work, but where is the setup on this team? They basically need a gold lead to function properly.
It does at least allow LGD to kind of foray into. Are we? Hold on. That's a late swap.
Oh.
Are we sending? Is this a Tangyuan Scion mid? I mean, they already had the Vayne mid, so this swap feels like a final here, Kman. Wow, another twist.
I mean, they've got a lot of tricks up their sleeve. That is abundantly clear. Honestly, I like this more. Scion mid is really, really impossible for Annie to punish at any point. I mean, her lack of damage is, completely punished by the fact that Scion can't die. You actually give a lot of pressure over to something like Nefiri because of that aggressive mid lane that you're going to be able to have. And Vayne gets to play into something like the Zehen on the top side and actually have priority. This definitely gives them more tempo in the early game, but man, if you're worried about anything, that mid game is still going to be terrible. Sion's gonna have no shove in the mid lane. Caitlyn Elise is gonna start falling off at some point. Vayne needs time to get online. Like, you still have a lot of the same issues. It's just a little bit more understandable now, and the lanes are gonna be a little bit more positive individually.
Well, Kman, we asked for it. We wanted LGD to really get into their own bag of tricks with drafting, and they have done just that. We are live for Game 2 draft with LGD trying to bounce back. The arena buzzing with energy here for this Game 2. And we are already seeing some early shenanigans from Zwayon, trying to slow Heng down on his clear. He knew he wasn't going to have access to that wave at all into the Vayne, so he's trying to ruin someone else's day alongside him. Heng going to have to come off of his red buff completely, and that is a couple valuable seconds off the Nefiri clear.
Certainly matters.
Flash
oh, here we go.
YCX to get the face range cocoon. He goes into the ignite. It's flash out of JiaQi Love, but Shaoye's been able to stack up the lethal tempo as well. Trades significant damage back onto Fengyue. Man, LGD, they are not messing around. They are not looking to repeat the disastrous early game from Game 1.
This is how you use Caitlyn Elise. They have to get on the board early. But TN's here. He's going to try and punish this level 1 bot lane duo.
There's no flash on YCX. I wonder if he took Trickster second here to try and come over the wall. No, because he's going to need that dash, so not going to be able to utilize that punish. Maybe just trying to make sure that YCX didn't try to get even more feisty, and JiaQi Love and Fengyue can settle in a bit more, but there's some slowdown time on Tien's clear now, so both of our junglers a bit hampered.
Yeah, they're going to be in pretty similar spots in terms of where they're at. Definitely really exciting to see LGD actually play this far forward. I cannot stress enough how important it is that they continue to play like that. One of their biggest strengths is being able to get a lead onto that bottom side. If this Elise can start roaming and can start to be really proactive for this team, that is their opportunity, their avenue to find success in this game. You know, as much as we talk about the Scion potentially creating some better lane matchups, I still really do not favor LGD's draft. I think it's pretty difficult to execute, especially late game here. One way that you can neutralize that is getting a big lead onto Caitlyn, and at least they've started that off here.
Yeah, even if Ezreal does feel a bit slippery with the Arcane Shift, no flash on AD carry is a clear sign for a repeat punishment, either through an Elise Cocoon or even through Heng paying a visit down towards his bot side. He's currently on bot side, of course, because he's clearing top down and will be a bit quicker out towards this first crab here. It actually looks like he's going to skip his blue buff just to secure this bot crab down.
Yeah, it's certainly interesting to see the way that these junglers have wanted to try and prioritize their camps and what lanes they think are most important to try and make sure that they can, keep safe in a lot of these instances. I think especially for someone like Heng on the Nefiri, we've talked about Heng being more of a facilitator for this team. He was one of the lowest junglers in the entire league in terms of damage percentage throughout the regular season. He's got a lot of responsibility to carry in this one. Burdol obviously going to be a part of that as well. But this Nefiri, I mean, if you can start getting onto the back line and get that lock on onto, Annie and Ezreal, it certainly becomes more dangerous to try and play these front-to-back team fights. LGD have tools, but that pathing is going to really matter because you can't really afford to fall behind in terms of tempo.
talked about what tempo means for these early lanes is, hold on, JiaQi love to shift forward, but oh, it was all for the minion bait. They didn't know Fengyue was sitting in the way, flying, and wait, it's first blood to JiaQi, but Shaoye finds the trade, and he's got the trap set up. Fengyue's gonna have to flash over, but a 90 caliber net forward from Shaoye, one auto short from finding the double kill, and now he's gonna have to run away from Tien, flash Trickster forward, and Shaoye's gonna have to flash as well. It's first blood TES, but Shaoye with the better reset off a kill of his own.
Okay, that is certainly a very interesting trade for the game state. I talked about Caitlyn needing to get some gold under her in order to make this game a little easier in the mid game to start to accelerate her. That's exactly what you want to see. However, gold onto Ezreal can also be pretty dangerous when you start to play these front-to-back 5v5s. YCX gonna try to get even more gold in the mid lane here, but Creme has sensed it out, and unfortunately, just not a lot of gank setup coming in from the Sion on the top side, especially with no mana.
Sion in the mid lane. I still got to get used to saying that. Kman, after LGD have gotten pretty freaky in this Game 2 draft with their solo lanes. But this is the kind of creativity we've seen from Burdol and Tangyuan all split long. As it looks like that was the time where we saw like the super lethality oriented, like ace in the hole. Okay, hold on. We come back live and Heng is we're diving, but oh my god, the double tangle barb. YCX gets completely stunted. JiaQi Love does end up going down, so it's a 1-for-1 here. But it's JiaQi Love picking up more gold. Do want to recognize though that LGD, good job punishing that flash timer still being down for this Ezreal.
I mean, that's a huge play, I think, to make for both sides, honestly. Getting another kill onto JiaQi Love is important, but it's way more important to get kills on Nefiru. We cannot stress enough just how relevant it is for this game to start snowballing for LGD. These fights are going to get really difficult in the mid game when Caitlyn doesn't really have that, crit online just yet, doesn't really have the damage. You have Vayne on the top side. It's going to be more difficult to try and find those fights with something like a Sion mid in the mid game. So getting this gold early, making sure Nefiru can have some tempo so that if you do fall behind in terms of, the aggressive plays you can go for, it's still fine. YCX, though, this Elise is not going to pause. That I can promise.
Well, and they got a flanking Burdol with final hour available. Does Tien get ult off this? There's the final hour. Fengyue's going to whiff the Pop Blossom. Tien does pick up level 6, but over the wall, Zoyan gets the pullback. Burdol's got a flash dash on out of dodge. It's level 6 over to Tien, and LGD not able to make a pick happen. No kills to be found.
Completely disconnected. I don't really understand what the play was even attempted to be there. Burdol goes in on the flank and nobody's available. YCX and Heng now pushed out of their own jungle. Tien understands they burned so many resources. Sion ultimate, Vayne ultimate was used. Heng wasn't even in the area. It's not even level 6 just yet. I mean, that's a massive mistake from LGD to take the pressure they earned from that bot lane dive and basically give it away for free. Heng has to go to the bottom side now, and there's no camps up. He has yet to hit level 6 for a potential dragon fight.
The Sion, though tanky into the anti-burst, is still getting a bit pushed around here. Did want to, for a moment, talk about this Sion mid. We did get a bit interrupted, but it's this creativity out of Tangyuan and Burdol that had these two as, headliners for our series, of course, came in, but also all-pro selections of their own for that Nirvana group. And it was stuff like this, the TF top we keep harping on. It was really what we praised, the creativity of this team. So, wanted to give a nod to all of our all-pro players in this matchup, 6 of them across the board.
Yeah, all of the top side for top esports, everyone except for Fengyue. I voted for Fengyue, but LGD as well. I mean, their solo lanes have really been the key contributors, and we're seeing it. I mean, when Burdol makes these great plays, you're able to see this big advantage, and he obviously has a lot of responsibility. He just needs to be able to step up. It's very clear and intentional that they felt like he had a better chance of carrying this game than Tangyuan did, which is why they gave him the Vayne in this lane matchup. We'll see what he can do with it. For now, that top lane priority from Burdol and even from Tangyuan in the mid lane, as much as he's getting pushed out, is going to be able to get them grubs.
Grubs, definitely a powerful tool, though I will say in a game like this where both teams are pretty focused in on skirmishing and team fighting, not going to be a ton of split push value, even, if you feel like a Vayne could crack a turret decently easy. I do think, the grubs are always valuable to pick up all 3, but there are better games to play so hard for that early objective. And I, again, go back to the fact that Tien is making it clear in this series that dragons are his priority.
It's funny, both of these comps really want to fight just in complete opposite ways, right? TES, once again, for the second straight game, has drafted a comp that's terrifying in a 5v5. If you can get any of those engaged tools off, the rest of the team can combo really easily. And LGD is going to be looking for picks all game long. They don't want a front to back. Now, they might hit a point eventually where they can play around this Vayne and this Caitlyn, but Elise and Nefiri, like, these are not champions that want to be waiting to try and play around these objectives. They want to be growing their gold lead by being proactive, which is why it's so important to keep an eye on the vision. Teleport burn topside with the jungler in the area, and he's going to get moved up a little bit to try and dissuade any sort of dive potential, especially with no tank on the top side, but you just can't really afford to be utilizing too many resources because LGD certainly are going to be looking to punish that.
Looking to play through the gold lead that they've accrued through Heng and Burdol so far. Burdol up about 700 gold. Good to see that. I assume the main reason why the swap happened between the Sion and Vayne has blossomed into this decent gold lead, about 500 gold. So we'll see how much of a difference that makes when Burdol gets that Hex plate early on here. Assume that's what he's going with the early components of the Phage. We see that a lot. I believe so. That's what the Hex plate is. I guess Phage can build into Triforce or Hex plate, two items that we associate with the Vayne top a lot.
Yeah, it definitely could be either. I mean, Triforce would make some sense this game if they wanted to do it because they don't really have a lot of consistency in these fights. So it really is whatever direction they want to go in on the top side.
Final hour.
Burdol. Yeah, he's
run
looking
down Zwayon. Sion ultimate is going towards the bot side, so it's a twofold play here for LGD. It's the Grim deliverance over the wall from Zwayon to get out. Bot side, JiaQi Love Arcane Shift has to flash out of a decimating smash there from Tangyuan. So JiaQi Love's flash has been on constant cooldown throughout this early game.
Slayer, I gotta ask you, you talk about it a lot. Does that classify and count as ultimate chicken in the top lane?
Yes, it does, but this is called ultimate one-sided bop down because Tien's bringing his ult towards the top side. Kman, there's the Cyclone, there's Tien on the board.
I guess he just didn't see him in terms of the counter measure once he burned that ultimate on the top side. Zwayon obviously ults over the wall, but if Burdol knows that Wukong is in the area, there's no way he steps up on that wave. Just a mistake from the veteran top laner here for LGD that's punished pretty heavily. He's definitely not a member that can afford to go behind.
Glad you used that word veteran, right? Because it's so interesting when we talk about the sheer amount of games JiaQi Love has, sheer amount of games that Tien has, even a guy like Creme at this point. In playoff series too, right? LGD do have a veterancy advantage in their top side. Burdol versus Zwayon, and that's, again, where I want to make sure to give the rookie some praise for that game one performance and see if he can do it again up against the guy that has the games played edge, the playoff games edge over him.
Definitely looking to keep that going. Zwayon's been excellent in this series, and now LGD looking to invade, but TES do not want to give this over for free.
Oh, they are bringing in the house, and here's the flash pop. Blossom from Fengyue is not going to hit, but he does get the Tangle Barb into a perfect stun there from Creme, so maybe not how they drew it up, but the kill is found. Heng punished for the invade nonetheless.
I think these plays from LGD feel incredibly desperate. It doesn't really ever feel like you're going to be able to collapse well upon that play. You want to try and take advantage of the Elise and the Nefiri, getting together with that Eclipse now completed for the jungler, but you just do not have priority. And all along, it's just been bot side feeling fine. JiaQi Love's under tower, but this is what you want out of Ezreal, just to play as consistent and safe as possible. It's just bad macro from LGD that continues to get punished by TES, and they've taken a small gold lead for LGD and turned it into a 2K lead for themselves.
And right in time for a Chemtech Drake to be spawned on this bot side. Tien, though, stealing away some of Heng's camps, going to take away this Raptor camp. Wonder if he feels like, they're going to be late towards this dragon. I don't know how much info he has that Heng is actually clearing down, top down as well. So it's actually going to be Tien that does have first access towards this dragon, but Top Esports have been pretty topside oriented, so they're going to have to kind of readjust their setup to try and make this dragon happen, but definitely helps to utilize that Nico clone to get some vision up.
I mean, TES have had significantly better vision control throughout this entire series. It has been very clear who's been able to control the river. As this wave gets crashed in, Burdol going to take a little damage, but again, you just need to make sure the Vayne's not overly punished. You mentioned it, Dragon on the map, and it's going to be started up here by LGD. If they can start to take away some of the Dragon stacking from Top Esports, that could be a win condition. Push back for them, but TES, yeah, they're not giving this up.
Cyclone's up, Tibber is up and available, no pop loss, but Tien's going to hop right over the wall, go for the 50-50, and win it. Heng does not find that win First 2 Drakes over to top esports, and they're bopping LGD out of the river as well. Oh, there's Timbers.
I mean, it's a 50-50.
Let's see how healthy that Scion's health bar is. It's good enough now.
It's pretty healthy. He's probably fine. Look at the items in his inventory. Frozen Heart, Inspector's Cowl. This is a very hard to kill Scion at this point in the game. And you're especially looking at that Frozen Heart being a big problem playing into something like Zhen and Wukong, but Creme could be overextended. They wanted to look for a play, but it's just so tough. Again, Heng has no priority. He's getting his entire jungle stolen anyways.
Yeah, that's a blue buff after the Raptor steal as well from Heng. And while that's a detriment to any jungler, a power clearing carry like the Nefiri really can't afford to lose out on these camps to try and keep up item-wise with Tien. Yes, it's an Eclipse versus Trinity Force, but have to remember how much extra gold Tien needs to complete that Triforce. So definitely one of the most powerful first item spikes, and now he's reading Heng's every one of his moves like a book right now, able to defend his own blue buff. Burdol just too late to come over here and try and protect it. Does Tien have Smite here to secure this? Oh, he does get it stolen by Heng. All right, so there's a win for Heng.
I honestly still get a little bit nervous. I mean, Heng obviously smites that away, but
oh, there's the
still
smite for Tien.
Oh,
the flash cyclone follow. Tien's trying to do it all on his own. It's a hop over one wall, flash over another there for Heng as he's completely pushed away from the topside river right as the Herald is up for the taking.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're trading blue buff for Herald. Not really a trade that I think is super valuable, although looks like they might not even want the Herald right now. They definitely have some time to be able to delay it if they want it. That just depends on when they want to go after it. I want to point your attention to the minimap on the top side. Where are the red wards? Like, where is the vision at all for LGD to even try and make a play like this? One of the biggest problems that I think Heng is running into, they're invading as Nefiri Elise with absolutely no vision of where anyone on top esports is, and they're consistently getting collapsed upon. At some point, these plays have to be set up better. It feels like they understand the kinds of plays they're trying to make without really having any of the setup necessary.
And every minute, you know, we pass by where this Elise isn't, you know, consistently getting nice pick looks, the value of this champion will begin to fall off. It is a relatively, like, well, I don't even want to say relatively. It's a super mid-game power spiking look for a lot of this game outside the double marksman. Hey, here's what we're talking about. All right, nice to see YCX is teaming up with his jungler, and Zwayon is caught. Grim Deliverance will not save you. The repel crackdown from YCX finds the exact pick we wanted to see from that Elise.
Exactly what you need to be doing. Those are the plays you can go for. The ones that you feel comfortable, have no real easy way to counterbalance. Like, yes, you lose Herald on the top side. You were probably going to lose Herald no matter what. You might as well get something out of it. And Burdol actually gets a ton out of this because he gets the bot lane tower gold as well. He's 1,000 gold up on Zwayon. This Vayne is going to be a problem. I think there is an argument to be made that LGD could theoretically outscale here, but so much of that outscaling comes from being able to snowball the game. You're playing 4v5 in these congested team fights. And quite frankly, I think the longer you let this game go, the more difficult it's going to be to not have to fight around some major objective in the late game, which they're just not going to win.
Yeah, I'm with you because it's just such a, again, a much simpler road ahead for this top esports composition, and they want to 5v5. They are going to have the value of first setup again, emphasizing how much top esports have made dragon stacking a priority. About a minute out from the first Cloud Drake of the game towards a Cloud Soul. They would put TES onto Soul Point here, but it's Fengyue is going to look for a dash flash pop blossom that grabs Heng. He's going to dash over the wall. The flash mystic shot finds its mark though from JiaQi Love. What a snipe. Down goes Heng, and now that next dragon feels like a certainty for top esports.
Vision control, Slayer. I've been talking about it all game, but top esports being able to dominate the vision game is why we are consistently seeing them get off these plays and be able to punish LGD for walking up. It's clinical. They're not quite able to get that mid lane tier 1. Wow. It's actually shocking considering the play that was made, but I'm sure they're going to be happy with the gold that they generate from that play. This Caitlyn that was drafted specifically to win the bot lane 2v2 into weak side Ezreal is down 500 gold going into the mid game against a comp with all of this engaged. The range will eventually get online, but top esports even being even in gold right now is certainly a massive advantage to them.
Very big. Especially, again, if they can get to their soul point. I feel like this is such a centerpiece of what will allow them to bring their win con, home for a game 2 win here. It's LGD that TP'd in Tangyuan to bring him back towards the mid lane. And now with the Caitlyn traps, they can make it a bit of a harder walk-in for top esports.
Yeah, they're trying to set up around this, but do they have the combat power to play front to back?
All right, they're getting rid of the traps. Creme's going to take a headshot. That was way on. TP'd into the pit. Now he's flashing right after Shaoye. Forces a flash. The dread return will not land. Tangyuan on the front line trying to use that Scion health bar as a resource, but there's the Grim Deliverance. Zwayon's going after Tangyuan and Burdol. He can't find a way into this fight. The rain starting to prove pivotal here for LGD as the Ace of the Hole gets more damage with Swayon with that passive revive stacked up. Dares LGD to walk back into the river, and TES busts down the front door and take the dragon for themselves.
This is the exact problem that they have. LGD have no way into any of these fights. You know what wasn't used? Pop Blossom or Cyclone or Annie Engage. Any of it. None of the actual engage tools were used. It was Zwayon zoning out a Scion. We're going to get a replay of the pick earlier. Once again, where is your vision? You are getting caught over and over again, just stepping up to try and survive because you have no easy way to check this with Elise and with Nefiri. It's a sniper shot coming in from JiaQi Love on one of his signature champions, but it all comes down to the setup. One of these teams is so much more comfortable doing the little things, and that's what top esports get to benefit from, even if Zwayon continues to get caught.
Yep, there's the Hound's pursuit forward here. This is some critical gold to get into Heng's pockets, and they're going to donate that kill. So Zwayon definitely being punished for his side lane escapades as Tien's going to go after Shaoye. Dances around the trap so well as the Cyclone comes down, and we're just all about picking off people a little too far up on their waves right about now.
I mean, we called LGD the pick comp, but you certainly can't walk into a Wukong if you're Caitlyn. That's not going to go super well for you. YCX already taking a ton of damage. He's 5 levels down on JiaQi Love. Not going to be an easy game for this Elise. It's like a 4v5 at this point because they weren't able to snowball that bot lane. It just looks very scary. I think in isolation, you can make an argument here that LGD outscale from a damage perspective. They are double marksmen. They're going to be setting up around an Nefiri as well. I just get so scared about these team fights. And you know who I trust in team fights? These veterans that we continue to bring up. I trust Tien. And again, it's just the lack of vision. Look at where Tien is sitting. He understands that there's just nothing that they can do. Shaoye has no clue where he is at any point in time. He just gets to jump on him for free. Fengyue was on another flank on the other side, also completely unseen. It's complete map dominance from top esports.
And what can they parry that into, Kman? A dance around the Nash. And again, another composition that I don't think you could just kind of write off as a bit like, oh, I don't think they've got enough damage to kind of burn the Baron with nobody on the map. They've got more than enough damage, and also back to your point about setup and ease of execution, engage threat. Could very well see Tien make the call for TES to start a Baron and then look for that Fengyue turn with that Rocket Belt and flash soon up to try and make a team fight win here. But this is the one thing that's been working for LGD. Going after Zwayon on these side lanes. Look at the flurry of autos Burdol is throwing down. Zwayon didn't have a chance in hell to even look for a way to escape. Burdol with the solo bolo.
I mean, if there has been an advantage point, we'll say, on the map for LGD, it's definitely been this Vayne going into the Zehen. This is why you move the Vayne top lane, right? It's not because Sion's going to have a ton of depth and power into something like Annie in the laning phase. It's because Vayne in a side lane can consistently take advantage of this Zehen. And Vayne is your win condition. If you can get to a part of the game where Vayne can 1v5 these fights, you know, that is the way back here. That is your way of being able to play against this full engage comp from TES. You just have to play so perfect, because that low range from Vayne can be exploited so easily by the multiple engage tools from top esports. The dance around the Baron is happening. You're absolutely right, Slayer. I would expect top esports to stall this out until the dragon spawns in just under 2 minutes here. Obviously, they're looking for an overextension, but if they have both of those objectives on the map, it forces LGD to make a choice, and neither is the right one.
And while a lot of people, some people, you can definitely scoff at Cloud Soul when it comes to how much fun a Hextech Infernal Soul can be for the damage, Chemtech for Mountain for the resiliency. In this game in particular, the value of a Cloud Soul into a comp with the speed engage of a Nico, of a Wukong, even an Annie, right? All these Rocket Belt champions. It's a very good game to get Cloud Soul if you're top esports in my mind. It's even to deny it from this LGD comp with like the Vayne you're talking about, and the Nefiri as well.
Whoever the Cloud Soul doubters are, I'm not one of them. That's very good.
All right, Zwayon, we're learning.
Well, he's getting out. Yeah.
He's not dead.
I mean, that burns
this time.
some priority. This mid lane tier 2 is going to be gone incredibly quickly. Multiple TPs coming in. They got to be careful into this tower.
All right, the Scion is
Like they're going to be just fine.
Set up, but you called it out, Kman. Use the threat of a Baron as a stall tactic. 30 seconds out from Cloud Soul for top esports, so they'll be able to crest over the mark at before 25 minutes. Tien already making sure that any vision YCX gets down now will be spotted out near this river. It's back to that vision game you've been preaching. The TS are going to be well set up, well adjusted for a shot at Cloud Soul.
And it makes it even more difficult for this comp that has basically no free engage to get in. TES have done a great job staying patient. Now is the time to cash in on that patience and really pull this game apart. If LGD can win this, they can get themselves back into the game. You have to keep an eye on Burdol.
Massive fight for the series stakes here for LGD as the battle lines have been drawn. Zwayon and Fengyue are trying to work their way into a flank of their own, but they are met with resistance so far. Dragon below 4k HP. Tien has already won a 50-50 over Heng. This time he won't. It's Shaoye's auto that stops the Cloud, so Fengyue gonna go for a Pop Blossom engage, and he does find Burdol, who gets popped before he can even the final hour. Heng, though, with the trade, does find one, but it's Creme over the wall with Zwayon. The top side here for top esports, doing the heavy lifting as JiaQi Love remains untouched. A double for Zwayon. Tangyuan soon to fall behind it, making a triple kill for the rookie. He grabs himself the quadra kill. The rookie on the biggest stage of his career so far is gonna casually stroll right towards Tangyuan, trying to get himself the pentakill, but I think the turret is gonna spoil it. Oh, the soul for his shield. Please, Tangyuan, give the rook his flowers. He's toying with Zwayon, and he will finally get executed to ruin the highlight.
No Penta, but I think they get a little bit more off of that. Yes, you lose the soul, but you grab the Baron and you grab a massive gold lead. What a fight from the top side. You perfectly outlined it, Slayer. The setup around this is actually pretty good from LGD. The fact that top esports are even flipping this in the first place is insane to me with the amount of engage that they have, but they burn it all and they burn it in the right spot. The Vayne goes down. Yes, the support has to give his life in order to do it, but that is a worthwhile trade. And Creme and YCX trading flashes over the wall is just icing on top of the cake as Zwayon and Tien get to combine the engage and the damage to purposefully take down every single member of LGD. If there was no nail in the coffin before, it might have been there now. The one lane they had a lead in is gone. And now we are looking at a game state that is looking near impossible for LGD.
Well, they're not staring down a Cloud Soul just yet. That's a bit of a win. But Baron was picked up. Let's see how much of a power play top esports can make out of it, because they've already got JiaQi Love on the mid lane, working down the tier 2. I love this 4-1 split here. This is kind of, again, the power of the Ezreal, the safety of an Ezreal with flash and dash up. Oh, maybe we're going to test it right here as Heng's going to go over the wall. JiaQi Love uses the barrier. Blast Cone does get Heng enough safety. Yes, not going to be a bap of the staff down for Tien to find that kill, but it's Heng that has to flash out, and it's more structures falling in the name of top esports.
If I'm Neferi and I'm flashing for melee range Ezreal, I'm starting to reconsider maybe the game state that I have played. The game how I've gotten here in the first place. That is worst case scenarios. Zwayon, he's continued to push here. He's got backup. They're going to try and bust open the base here.
They've got a pair of cannon minions that Shaoye is going to have to deal with. I don't know if they know exactly where Tangyuan is gone, so maybe they're fearing the Scion flank here. He's trying to hold that mid wave, just showing to respect the fact that LGD can try and collapse on this comp. But it's not Tien that's going to get jumped on here. He's trying to push up the mid wave. Cyclone out. He's looking to go forward, though. He is fearless. Maybe he should have advised some caution there. That's a valuable shutdown LGD are able to garner.
He was in a very dangerous spot. I understand the 4-1 that they're looking to have there, but because Tangyuan actually does a great job of culling and catching that wave mid lane, he's actually just basically dead from that point onwards. I think he understood that there was no way out and just tried to get as much as he could out of that situation. It's well played from LGD, and it is a mistake from top esports, but they're going to need a lot more than just that in order to get themselves back into this game. Notably, 1.5 minutes on Cloud Soul again. Yes, you got one, which is really important. It's good to get another. You need to continue the pressure. Caitlyn is starting to get closer and closer to a power spike, but look at the wallet difference in the bot lane. 2,500 gold in favor of JiaQi Love. We've already seen what he can do to the Neferi. We'll probably get a chance to see what he can do in a front-to-back 5v5 as well.
Nations will fall, the sun at some point will explode in our solar system, and JiaQi will still be a playoff riser. That's all I've got to say with that goal difference.
I certainly don't disagree with you on that. JiaQi has always been such a clutch performer, especially in games where he gets the opportunity to be proactive. This was a game that was designed for him to be weak side. Let's not forget. Let's look at this draft and say, yeah, Ezreal's our carry. No, he has just forced himself to be the main character of top esports, and if there's anything that you can say about JiaQi, it's that oftentimes, whether teams want him to or not, he's the one who's going to step up and make himself known as one of the best AD carries in the history of League of Legends.
Funneling all the gold he can get on the map currently because he wants to try and get this, and you know, the Endless Hunter, get that completed so he has extra. Just, I would say the strongest Ezreal can really get, I feel like, at the 4-item point. There's a lot of space for creativity past the build point at that area. See if he can be able to get it. I think it's obviously not going to come before this Cloud Drake. We're about 10 seconds away from it spawning. LGD are trying to look to separate Zwayon here, but he's got his passive fully stacked up, so he's not the target they want to go after. It's Zwayon that's actually going right after Burdol, limping away barely with the final hours. The Grim Deliverance does come out, but they've left Tangyuan. The desperate Boulder front line goes down, and Fengyue with the dash flash, pop blossom onto 2. Good night, Shaoye. Rest in peace, LGD in the game 2, as YCX will fall as well. No Cloud Soul needed. TES are looking to crack the LGD base.
It took a little bit longer than it did in game number 1, but top esports are inevitable. JiaQi wants even more. Burdol and Heng may have survived, but I don't think it's going to do them much good as they watch their base get exploded.
Another team fight-oriented comp, another confident draft here from Top Esports. And they have picked up right where they left off in game 1. It's only a couple of housekeeping orders in to find these final kills. Top Esports, all business and a bit of pleasure with these wins. 2-0 up on LGD. Okay, Slayer. Top Esports are here. They have shown up. Yeah,
we are getting the best version of them. I can't stress enough, I love the way that they're approaching this series. I think their mentality and their game plan is perfect for exactly what this team is. We can talk about LGD going for these really difficult to execute comps with Nefiri Elise and playing, Vayne on the top side with it. You have to have so many things go right for this comp to work out. What has been Top Esports' game plan? Let us go in, let us 5v5, let us win. They trust themselves to be the better players. They trust that they understand exactly what they can do in these early and in these mid games, and it just gives them all the tools necessary for them to showcase just how good they really are.
We've seen, a couple of Nirvana teams really get caught up in the chaos you mentioned some of these LGD drafts have created, right? They're hard to execute, but really confusing, like, game states they create. The answer for Top Esports has been simplicity, right? We've seen it in both these drafts. It's, okay, yeah, you can try and catch us out with a Sion Vayne swap that we maybe didn't see coming. Yeah, sure. You've got some lanes that will win early. Caitlyn Elise, the Vayne into the Zahen. But we know that when it comes to our first skirmishes, when it comes to the simplicity of our engage tools, that's all we need. We know we're the better team. And it's worked out so far through 2 games.
Oh boy, has it. I mean, yeah, we talked about this one being longer. Both are sub 31 minutes. I mean, it's not like either of these games really felt like LGD had a great foothold in. They were neutral for most of this game, but again, look at the draft. You can't really be neutral with Caitlyn Elise, with Nefiri in the jungle. You have to generate these leads, and I think that's really what I want to stress is just I love the confidence from LGD, but these are drafts you pick if you think you're better. these are champions you pick if you think you can outplay your opponent. I just think Top Esports are on their game here today. I'm really impressed and proud of this team. There have been a lot of times where we've talked about TES getting in their own way and perhaps not executing in the mid game the way that they would want. I stressed it so much during the game, but I want to stress it after too. Their vision control, their ability to control the map through Fengyue and through TN when they do have this lead, they are strangleholding every bit of an advantage away from LGD that won't even show up in the gold lead. It just shows up in the performance.
And, piggybacking off your point about, like, the worries that we consistently have had with Top Esports and the consistency of their play, you can really go off, like, how we talked about when it came to All-Pro voting, right? No playoff team that didn't go into the play-in tournament kind of limped into the playoffs more than Top Esports, right? Like, there were warning signs. And then you come up against an LGD team revitalized by the fact they're playing Group Ascend. They've got their fan base behind them again, playing in these high-stakes games. This could go very wrong. This could be a slippery matchup with when we talk about like the momentum certain teams bring in. Top Esports now, they look like we need to start having the conversations about, is this even is this BLG just going to work through all the playoffs, right? Is it BLG and JDG going up again for a final? Is it a two-horse race? I don't know, man. Top Esports are really starting to make me feel like we're going to have similar conversations about the playoff brackets that we were having in 2025 when they were winning splits, when they were making grand finals.
I mean, this Top Esports team has been a contender all split long. We may have soured on them a bit towards the end of the regular season, but at their best, there's no question what this team can be, right? It's all just about getting that best out of them, and that's why I've been so proud of what they've done today so far. Obviously, the series isn't over, and you have to keep it up. You know, anything can happen. Even LGD was a team that went up 2-0 against Weibo and then lost games 3 and 4, right? Like, it's always something that you can do, right? You can always find your way back into a series, but what's been so impressive is Top Esports understanding exactly what they're good at and just going out there and doing it. They're not overcomplicating. They're not thinking too much about this. They're saying, hey, we can just outplay these opponents, and we saw that here today. JiaQi has been on fire today. TN has been on fire. Fengyue has been on fire. Creme did more damage than Burdol in that game. The Annie outdamaged the Vayne. And when you're sitting in that spot where everyone is producing, where everyone is stepping up, when it is truly a team gap in every single way, how can you not get excited about a team that has already shown so much promise?
And even, the one name you don't mention there being Zweon.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
I mean, like, he did, get exposed a bit with the side lanes, overextending a bit. But I love the resiliency he showed. He goes down 0-3, comes back in the first team fight, nearly gets his first pentakill in the LPL, right? He goes 0-3 to 4-3. Gotta love that. Still understanding, hey, I'm in a great spot here. I survived the worst part of it. I'm with my squad. I just need to execute. And even in this fight where, he doesn't really get a ton of the kills, this final fight, he's flashing forward. He's playing with confidence. Awesome to see.
The fight's over when he chunks out Burdol. It's just over. He wins the game instantly. And one thing I want to say to give him a lot of credit as well, he certainly didn't think he was going into Vayne when he picked the Zehen. Like, he was put in such a terrible position in this game. He's looking at a Scion, and all of a sudden he has to play one of the biggest losing laning phases that you can play when he's supposed to be the strength of this